Hi, I'm here with Beth Ford, President and CEO of Land O'Lakes. Welcome, Beth, and thanks for joining via Teams. Today, we're announcing a multi-year strategic alliance to innovate in agriculture, enhance the supply chain, and most importantly, help the farmers who are part of Land O'Lakes family really thrive going forward. So really excited to see this partnership come together. And thank you again, Beth, for being here. When I think about the role farmers play in our nation's food supply, especially in a time like this where there are so many unpredictable challenges, whether it's climate change, evolving workforce, obviously most recently the pandemic itself, I was wondering, how can technology play a role in helping farmers navigate all of these challenges?
Well, Sajid, first of all, it's great to see you, and thanks for this, and actually, thank you for the partnership for the alliance. I'm thrilled. The team is thrilled. I think of it, so to your question, at this particular time, especially, and I always think farmers are part of national security, really, right? A safe, affordable food supply means a resilient economy, and resilience is critical for a farmer. So what I love about this alliance with Microsoft is partnering with the world's leader in technology. And then we, of course, work right directly on the farm. Farm level, we're owned by farmers, have been for almost 100 years. We've been leveraging data and analytics in farming. And we're kind of doubling down in this alliance. And we want to get under one unified architecture, which I think is going to drive even more efficiency, use our R7 tools, our data silo, our Truterra Insight Engine. And from that, those insights will help a farmer make more predictive and precise decisions on every acre. And I think that's the way we think of the leverage of technology right now.
No, absolutely. In fact, one of the things that has been really fun for us is, in some sense, you've always been technology and data rich. And now to be able to take even some of these new advances with sensors, cloud and AI, and bring that to bear with sort of new scale and scope is where I think, for example, the ability with high precision to help with microclimate predictions, which obviously have a huge bearing on the environment and sustainability, crop yields, precision farming, and also your digital dairy platform, which is so really amazing to see for the full life cycle all the way in terms of both the feed to what's on the shelf. So amazing to see some of the technology come together. The other thing that I know that you care deeply about, your farmers care deeply about, is sustainability. So maybe you can just tell us a little bit about how you think about end-to-end in Land O'Lakes around the sustainability of our agriculture.
Yeah, I mean, farmers, the original environmentalists, right? They have everything at stake. And, to your point of before on climate, it can be too hot, too cold, too wet, too dry, and they can have major issues on their farm. So the way we think about sustainability really is data-enhanced decisions. A farmer can improve their sustainable production. That would be better for the environment, for the climate, and also better for them in their operation. We developed something called a Truterra Insight Engine. It has over 1 trillion data points. It allows a farmer acre by acre to make improved decisions about improving not just their production and their practices. So is it no-till? Is it variable rate application of fertilizer? What is it that will improve their sustainable production, but also improve their profitability? And those two things have to work in partnership if we want the right level of investment. What we want to do with the analytics, and to your point, is to say, what should the incentive structure look like for farmers to improve sustainable production, which is better for the environment overall?
Yeah, I know it's great to see the market dynamics around sustainability helping create that incentive structure for better practices. And so I think that it's great to be partnered on that. Speaking of some of the big structural issues, one of the big issues is broadband connectivity. How do we make sure that there's broadband connectivity in the farm so that all this technology can be deployed and then all the best practices, in some sense, be much more widespread? Maybe you want to talk a little bit about work you were already doing and obviously what we do together going forward.
Broadband and technology is so critical, yes, for efficiency on the farm, and even the Truterra Insight Engine or the analytics, the innovative ag tools that we've been talking about, they cannot be leveraged without technology enablement, without broadband access. Of the, say, 24 million Americans that lack access to broadband, 19 million are in rural communities. 96% of farms are still family owned. These are families. Okay, so healthcare access is critical, especially at this moment with COVID. Access to education, as we're all educating our children at home and working at home. And if we do not have the tools and the enablement with technology, we cannot assume that a farmer is able to take action. So what we've been doing more directly in partnership with you, as you know, and I'm so grateful, we turned on our Wi-Fi hotspots, and we're in 10,000 rural communities across the United States, turned on our Wi-Fi hotspots, and then partnered with you and your Airband so that we could expand utilization or access to that Wi-Fi. And from that, we were able to allow access for these community members who do not have access to broadband or to Wi-Fi. It is so exciting. We at the same time partnered with the Mayo Clinic, with the Cleveland Clinic, with other providers. And you know what we heard from them? That this has been an accelerant around telemedicine, which is a stabilizer for these rural communities that lack access to healthcare, doctors, et cetera. Mayo told us that they had the more telemedicine appointments in one day than that they had in all of last year. The way we're thinking about it is, yes, tools and efficiency on the farm. And we're so excited to continue to develop those tools with your partnership and expertise. And at the same time, what do we think about the ecosystem that is sitting there, next to the farmer?
And that's sort of one of the most inspirational things, Beth, as I've talked to you so much. Your focus on not just, obviously, the core of the business, which is the farm and the productivity and the agriculture sector, but the community. And even the way you talked about, access to education, access to healthcare. These are fundamental issues for the community to thrive. And it's great for all of us to come together to create at least the core building blocks for the community. Again, very excited to see us as two organizations bring our commitment, that sense of purpose, but most importantly, bring technology. And in fact, as I said earlier, the technology and the data that you already have is very rich. And now for us to come together with our collective strength to further democratize access to technology going forward. So thank you so much for the partnership, Beth.
Thank you, Satya. We're very excited.